The exile decree left no room for mercy. You are no son of House Asahi. Your inheritance is a curse. Suta's hands found the rusted lock of the steel trunk. With a sharp crack, he broke it open.
The blood-bound rig. 47 soldiers died testing this thing.
Yet, as he lifted the harness, the straps seemed to align with his own frame.
Why does this feel so right? The reports said it killed everyone. But on me, it's comfortable.
The rig's core hummed as he fastened the last buckle. A faint blue glow pulsed under the leather.
If this cursed thing can make me a soldier, then I'll use it. I'll join the ranks. I'll join the ranks.
Suta stepped out of the cell, the rig steaming softly. The guard stumbled back, eyes wide with disbelief.
Let them stare. This is my only path forward.
For the first time in 30 years, the blood-bound rig had a living pilot, and he was heading straight for the enlistment office, ready to defy every warning. The scout enlistment office stood under a crisp sky. Recruits in line shrank back as Sota approached, rig glinting. Inside, the harried clerk went white as a ghost. His pen clattered to the desk.
I need to enlist. This is my gear. I won't take it off.
Before the clerk could stammer a reply, the side door burst open. Captain Tetsuya strode in, his scarred face grim.
That harness. I've seen it in the files. The blood-bound rig. 47 dead. How are you standing?
Because it fits me. I came to fight titans, not argue history.
You are a fool. That thing is a death sentence. I should throw you out.
But enlistment codes were clear. Any able body could enroll with personal gear. The captain's jaw tightened.
Fine. Sign the papers. But you are on my training watch. One misstep, and I confiscate that rig.
Watch me, Captain. This is just the start.
The crowded training ground hummed with tension. Wooden poles and swaying targets towered over the fresh recruits. When Sota's turn came, the rig hissed to life. He launched without hesitation, cables biting into the first anchor. The stopwatch needle blurred as he arced through the course. Instructors exchanged disbelieving glances.
The world blurs. The harness moves with me, like it's reading my bones.
He twisted through impossible moves, inverted cuts, a climb no standard gear could manage. The timing board slammed to a number that silenced the field. 23 seconds, the old record was 51.
This isn't possible. That rig should have torn him apart at that speed.
Suta landed lightly, steam hissing. Recruits stared, a few steps back, their eyes wide.
Now they see. Fear or respect, it doesn't matter. I'll carve my place here.
Later, Tetsuya scribbled a note in the log. Watch him. The rig is forgetting to kill. That evening, Captain Tetsuya summoned Suta to a private armory. The room smelled of old leather and regret.
You think that rig makes you special. Let me show you what it really is.
He thrust a brittle parchment into Suta's hands, a list of 47 names, each crossed out in red.
Names of soldiers who trusted the rig. Fathers, brothers, all dead. Why did it spare me?
47 volunteers. Every single one died in agony within minutes of strapping that harness on.
And yet, I am still standing. That means something. It means I am meant to use it.
It means you're lucky. But luck runs out. Retire the rig while you still can.
I won't. This rig could save lives. I've seen what it can do. I won't let fear of the past stop me.
Fine. Fly your cursed machine. But when it kills you, I'll add your name to this list myself.
Suta disappeared into the night. The list of the dead crumpled in his fist. The countdown to the expedition had begun. The expedition column cut through dense forest. Sota walked at its center, the blood-bound rig gleaming in the fractured light.
These soldiers stare like I am a walking corpse. Let them watch. This rig is a weapon, not a curse.
Without warning, the canopy shattered. 3 abnormal titans exploded into the column, their limbs cracking through branches like pale lightning. Soldiers screamed. Grappling hooks jammed. Sota's rig hummed a different frequency, calm, ready. He launched. Twin cables bit into bark and he shot between the titans before their eyes could track him.
It's like the rig knows my every instinct. Faster, sharper. This is where I belong.
The first Titan's nape split before it registered the blade. A clean arc, then a crash, then a crash. He reversed, steam screaming. The second beast reached for him, too slow. Its head separated with a wet crack. The third lunged, but Sota was already above. Both swords drove down through its spine. The ground shook. All three Titans collapsed as one. Tetsuya stared from the tree line, his face carved in stone. He reached for his notebook. In the Asahi Estate Library, Mizuki sat surrounded by genealogies and forbidden weapons records. Her lamp burned low.
Why did Father give Sota that cursed rig? He exiled him. Why arm him? Unless Sota was meant to die.
She opened a journal dated 30 years back. The handwriting was her father's. The entry read, "The bloodbound rig will answer only to our blood. The line must be preserved for the final flight."
Only to our blood. That means someone of House Asahi was meant to wear it. But who? And final flight sounds like a plan.
She flipped further, but the pages after were torn, deliberately removed.
Father knows. He gave Sota the rig knowing it might kill him or that he was the key. I have to warn my brother.
She drafted a short message asking Sota to meet at the old beacon tower outside the capital walls after sunset. Sealing the letter with unmarked wax, she slipped it to a servant she trusted. The conspiracy felt closer now.
I won't let Sota face this alone. The truth is buried here, and I'll dig until I find it.
Suta climbed the crumbling stairs of the old beacon tower. Mizuki's note clenched in his hand.
I found a journal of Father's Sota. It says the bloodbound rig only answers to our bloodline.
Our bloodline. So it's not just a prototype. It was made for someone in our family.
And the pages after that were torn out. Someone doesn't want anyone to know why.
Father gave this to me, expecting I'd die. Instead, it fit perfectly. He must have known.
I'll dig deeper. There are sealed archives in the estate. I can access them.
Be careful. If this is a secret they killed 47 men to bury, they won't hesitate to hurt you.
They parted under the clouded moon. Mizuki slipped back toward the estate, unaware of the shadow behind her.
So, Sota's half-sister is investigating. This conspiracy runs deeper than I feared.
Tetsuya melted back into the darkness. The net around Sota was tightening from all sides. Mizuki descended into the estate's sealed archives. Dust coated every surface, and the air tasted like old secrets.
Father locked these records away for a reason. The truth is wrought beneath the family crest.
Her fingers found a death register. Name after name, all with the same notation. Unfit for rig. Terminated.
Cousin Haru, Uncle Renji, all died just months after their ODM aptitude tests. They were murdered.
A pattern more cruel than coincidence. 17 heirs eliminated over 30 years. Then she found it. A folder edged in black. Inside, a single sheet. Contingency list. The sparse text read, "Final pilot, Sota Asahi. Status, active. Purpose, final flight. Authorization, Duke Asahi."
Sota wasn't exiled to die. He was kept alive as a backup. Father planned this.
She shoved the records into her satchel. Every second now risked a guard's discovery, or worse.
I have to reach Sota before Father realizes what I found. He's not just in danger. He's the center of it.
Mizuki found Suta in the armory's shadow, the stale air thick with unspoken dread. She thrust the records into his hands.
This is the proof, Sota. 17 Asahi heirs murdered because they didn't fit the rig. You were the only one preserved.
Suta's hand shook as he traced his own name on the contingency list. The words "final flight" burned in his mind.
I wasn't a son. I was a spare part. A weapon they kept in a box until needed. He killed them all. Cousins, uncles, everyone who could wear this cursed harness, and he made sure I'd live. Why?
Because the rig needs a pilot, for whatever final flight means. You are the last one who qualifies. He's been planning this for decades.
Then I'll end his plan. I'll confront him and tear every secret out of that cold heart.
The old pain calcified into purpose. Every scar from exile, every insult from the scouts, it all pointed in one direction now.
I am not his contingency. I am his reckoning.
Suta turned toward the estate, the rig humming with his pulse. Mizuki followed, knowing this night would shatter the Asahi name. The Asahi estate gates loomed like jaws. Sauta didn't bother to knock. He smashed the lock with his blade and strode into the dark hall. Duke Asahi stood before a roaring fireplace, his back to the door. He didn't turn. A glass of wine trembled in his hand.
You killed them all. 17 heirs, my family, slaughtered like livestock. And you kept me alive as a spare.
Spare? Number. You are insurance, a failsafe for the bloodbound rig's true mission. A mission you cannot comprehend.
Then explain it. You owe me that much, a reason for 17 graves.
30 years ago, our ancestor designed the rig to overthrow the throne. Only a specific bloodline can pilot it. The Crown discovered the plot. They purged our family, except I made sure a line survived. You are the last.
You killed our own blood to appease the king, and then you kept me as a weapon for a failed coup.
The coup is not failed. It's merely delayed, and you will fly the rig when the time comes. So here is my warning. Stay silent, obey, or I will erase you like the others.
I am not your contingency. I am the end of your line. Keep your warning. I'll find my own way.
Suta stormed out of the estate, the rig's weight heavier than ever. Outside, Mizuki waited, her face pale. The coup plan was now his burden. Before Sauta could decide his next move, a firm grip caught his arm in the dark. Captain Tetsuya stepped out of the shadows.
We need to talk. My investigation turned up something that makes your father's confession look like the first page of a darker book.
Inside his cramped quarters, Tetsuya pulled a faded document from a locked drawer.
30 years ago, a squad of 5 soldiers in blood-bound rigs attempted to storm the palace. This drawing was recovered from the aftermath.
The sketch showed the rigs with weapon modifications, clearly built for assassination, not Titan combat.
The coup my father mentioned, it actually happened, and the Crown knew?
They didn't just know. They crushed it and forced your family to purge anyone who could fly the rig. 17 heirs died by royal mandate.
So the king is the real puppeteer. He's been holding the Asahi bloodline as a threat this whole time.
Exactly. The moment the king realizes you are alive and piloting that rig, he'll see a rebellion he thought buried. He will come for you.
The pieces locked into a trap. Sauta wasn't just a pawn of his father, he was a ghost that could upend the entire kingdom. Mizuki rushed to Suta. The moment he emerged from Tetsuya's quarters, her eyes wild with fear.
You have to leave the capital tonight. If the king learns you are alive, he won't wait. He'll execute you on sight.
Before Suta could answer, the clatter of hooves froze them both. A royal messenger in gleaming armor dismounted, a sealed scroll in hand. The messenger shoved the scroll into Suta's hands. The king's seal glinted under torchlight, a summons to a victory banquet at the palace.
A banquet? Now? It's a trap, Sota. He'll demand the rig and then throw you in a dungeon, or worse.
Then I'll go. I'll walk into that hall and shatter this cursed rig in front of the whole court. No more running.
You'll die. The king's guards will cut you down before you even reach the banquet table.
Then we'll give him a fighting chance. I'll help you rig a self-destruct mechanism. Make it burn so bright, no one can ever use it again.
This is the only way. I'll burn the rig and the Asahi name together. Then let the king see what a scout really is.
The messenger departed, ignorant that the invitation had just sealed the fate of the bloodbound rig. Sauta, Tetsuya, and Mizuki began the grim preparations. In the cramped armory, the smell of scorched metal filled the air. Sota and Tetsuya worked without words, threading thin explosive filament through the rig's core.
This charge will blow the main coupling. No one will ever repair the harness after tonight.
Good. I want nothing left of it. Not a single trace of the Asahi legacy.
The tiny clockwork timer was sealed behind the rig's sternum plate. A red filament glowed like a heartbeat. Mizuki slipped into the armory, a single parchment in her hand. Her eyes were red-rimmed.
I found the last order. Father burned the bloodline records tonight. Every proof of the conspiracy is ash. You are the only evidence left.
Then I'll be the last witness, Mizuki. If I don't come back, make sure the scouts know the truth.
You will come back. I won't accept anything less.
Tetsuya stepped back, snapping a sharp salute. No words. His eyes said everything.
This is my last night as an Asahi. By sunrise, I'll be nothing or everything the scouts need.
The banquet hall fell silent as the great doors swung open. Sauta walked in, the blood-bound rig gleaming on his frame. Nobles clutched their goblets. Whispers slithered through the chandeliers. Shocked, afraid, intrigued, King Reinhardt sat at the head table, a cold smile on his lips. He raised a hand, silencing the court.
So the banished bastard returns, wearing a ghost. Come, let us see this cursed machine in action.
The command hung in the air like a blade. The court leaned forward, eager for spectacle.
I didn't come here to dance for your amusement, Your Majesty. The rig is not a toy.
You dare refuse a royal command? You, an exiled bastard, clad in band armor.
I don't recognize any authority that demands I perform for my own execution. This rig is a soldier's burden, not a party trick.
The hall plunged into a brittle silence. Guards at the edges tightened their grips on halberds. Tetsuya, among the scout delegation, inched his hand toward his blade. The standoff was no longer hidden. It was a public rebellion.
King Reinhardt rose, his goblet shattering. Enough. That harness is a treason weapon built by the Asahi clan 30 years ago to overthrow my line. They planned a coup with these rigs. My father crushed the rebellion and purged every pilot. 17 Asahi heirs were executed to end the bloodline. And now this bastard, the last, wears it in my hall. He is living proof of a rebellion denied.
The court recoiled. Nobles stared at Sauta as if he carried a plague.
Surrender the rig now, or die as a traitor.
Guards advanced, halberds leveled. The circle of steel tightened. Suta's fingers brushed the rig's sternum plate.
You want the rig? Come take it. It won't be worn again.
Seize him. If he resists, cut him down.
His hand pressed the hidden timer. One move would end the blood-bound rig forever. Suta pressed the timer home. The rig's core flared red, spitting sparks. A controlled blast split the harness. Straps severed, plates flew, but Sota remained standing, unharmed. He caught the smoking core and hurled it. It clattered across the marble, stopping at the king's feet.
I am no one's contingency. Not my father's, not yours. The blood-bound line is dead.
The court erupted. Nobles scrambled away from the smoking wreckage.
You've destroyed a weapon of the realm. Seize him. He'll hang for this treason.
Guards rushed from every corner, halberds ready, binding Suta's arms before he could speak another word.
You can kill me, but the scouts will remember. You'll never control them again.
The scouts are nothing without me. Take this traitor to the dungeon. He'll rot until trial.
As Suta was dragged past Tetsuya, their eyes met. The captain's hand rested on his blade. The powder keg was lit.
Suta Asahi, you are exiled on pain of death for treason. Any who aid him share his fate.
The guards tightened their grip, ready to drag him to the dungeons. The court whispered in fear. Captain Tetsuya stepped into their path, hand on his blade.
This soldier saved an entire expedition. Exile is an insult to every scout who watched him fight.
You dare defend him. The scouts exist by my grace. Obey, or I'll brand you all traitors and disband your corps.
Behind Tetsuya, the murmured voices of scouts grew into a low growl. With a sharp gesture, the king signaled the guards. Sauta was wrenched away, his eyes locked on Tetsuya for a final heartbeat. The dungeon door slammed shut. Chains rattled in the dark.
Assemble every scout. Tonight, we decide. Bow to a crown that discards its soldiers or stand for our own.
The word spread through the barracks like wildfire. The powder keg had a fuse now. In the dark dungeon, a key turned. Mizuki slipped in, her violet eyes finding Sauta chained to the wall.
Sauta, the scouts are gathering. Tetsuya has called for a mutiny. They won't let you hang.
Tell them to stand down. I destroyed the rig to end the feud. not start a war that gets them killed.
It's too late. The decision is made. They're coming for you, whether you lead them or not.
Outside, boots echoed. Metal rasped as a key scraped in the lock. Not Mizuki's. The door crashed open. Captain Tetsuya stormed in, flanked by a dozen armed scouts.
On your feet, soldier. The scouts don't abandon their own. We're leaving.
Chains fell, Sota staggered up, Mizuki steadying him. The corridor erupted with rebellion. Scouts cheered as Sota emerged into torchlight. The mutiny was no longer a whisper. By dawn, the capital would know. The scouts had broken from the crown and a new banner rose. In the gray dawn, scouts filled the square, their breath misting the air. Every eye turned to Sota as he climbed the stone platform.
I am not your captain by blood or by cursed gear. I stand here only because you freed me. The blood-bound rig is ash. I renounce it. No more noble bloodlines deciding who lives or dies. From this day, the scouts will be built on skill, courage, and the will to protect, nothing else.
He raised his fist, and the square erupted. Soldiers roared until the stones shook. From the front rank, Tetsuya strode forward, drawing his blade.
Suta Asahi, I pledge my blade and my core to you. Not as a noble, but as a scout. Lead us.
Suta clasped his captain's arm. In that grip, the old hierarchy shattered. Among the crowd, Mizuki watched, tears cutting through the dust, a raw smile on her lips. A new banner rose above the square, free of the royal crest, woven from old half-capes and defiance. In a cold war room, King Reinhardt sat opposite Captain Tetsuya. A heavy map of the kingdom lay between them.
You have your mutiny, Captain, but civil war benefits no one. State your terms.
Scout autonomy. Proper equipment. Full amnesty for every soldier who mutinied.
Autonomy and equipment. Fine. Amnesty granted. But Sauda Asahi remains in exile. No pardon.
He saved lives, but I see your petty pride won't bend. The scouts accept, and we will protect Sota regardless.
Protect a traitor outside the law, and this peace is dust. You test my patience.
The king signed the decree with a shaking quill, the ink like blood on the parchment. Later, Sota stood on a balcony. The city sprawled below. Tetsuya joined him, the decree in hand.
The scouts are safe. You are still exiled in name, but not in spirit. They'll shelter you.
A fragile peace settled over the capital, but in Sota's silver eyes, a new resolve hardened. The system had cracked, and he would widen the fissure. The scout barracks transformed into a sanctuary. Unmarked training gear replaced the old insignias, and the air buzzed with purpose.
Your rig won't save you. Only discipline will. Again.
Under his watch, new recruits pushed through grueling drills. They didn't see a noble. They saw a soldier who had earned every breath. Inside, Mizuki spread maps across a table, her fingers tracing supply lines. Tetsuya approved deployment routes.
Our first shipment of standard issue ODM gear arrives tomorrow. No more cursed prototypes.
It feels strange. No more secrets hiding in our own house. We can finally breathe.
Then we make sure no one else has to carry that weight. This is just the start.
Later, alone in the barracks, he caught his reflection in a dusty mirror. No rig, just a soldier.
The Asahi name doesn't own me anymore. I am just a scout.
He allowed himself a moment of stillness. The curse was broken, and the future stretched open, unwritten but full of defiant hope. On the high wall overlooking the wilderness, Sota, Mizuki, and Tetsuya stood together. The wind whipped their capes.
The expedition launches at dawn. We'll need new ODM designs. Lighter, faster. The old rigs are finished.
I've already drafted the specs. No more bloodline locks, just skill and trust.
Good. The system won't change overnight, but this is how we start. One expedition, one new design at a time.
The wind carried their words into the wilds. The wall had become a bridge, not a barrier. Suta's gaze lifted to the horizon. The cobalt of his hair caught the last light.
This is enough. This is more than I ever hoped for.
Above them, the new scout flag snapped in the wind. No royal crest, only the wings of freedom borne by every soldier below. And for the first time in 30 years, the sky belonged to those who dared to fly without chains.